The NFC West, I think, is one of the most interesting divisions. And the team, I think, with the biggest range of outcomes among the teams in this division is the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, and that's why you're the best in the business here. We'll transition lastly to the Arizona Cardinals. And our question for Arizona is, should they be all in on Kyler? Because something that hasn't really been talked about is last season at this time, everyone expected the Cardinals to move off Kyler Murray. It was all, okay, they have Houston's pick, they have their own pick, they're going to be absolutely horrible. They have to be the favorite to land Caleb Williams. I remember we had shows where we talked about the Cardinals being the number one team likely to get the number one pick in the NFL draft. And, they're at 4. They're not quite at 1. The season was up and down. But from where they were last year, and you look about Cliff Kingsbury fired, Steve Keim fired, new head coach, new GM. They were rated, I think, the second worst in the NFL Players Association survey that rated team facilities, coaches, and quality of life. I mean, it was a disaster. Kyler had a torn ACL. Being a Cardinal fan was a bad spot to be in. To where they are now with Jonathan Gannon, I really like the guy. I know he's quirky. I know people make fun of him a lot, and we're kind of writing him off after his intro videos where he just kind of seemed like a strange guy. But he had that team playing really hard, Ziggy. And when Kyler Murray came back, we saw a lot of flashes of the guy who earned that big contract that he got. So I'll ask you again, like I said off the top, do you think the Cardinals should be all in on Kyler, or should they be considering, we have a high pick. Maybe we can make a move for one of those top 3 quarterbacks?
The thing that makes me optimistic about Kyler Murray is that, it's tough missing almost a full season of football, being out of the field for a whole year.
Yeah.
His last 3 games were all pretty good, right? He played very well against the Bears. He played well against the Eagles, and he played well against the Seahawks. I mean, over those games, threw 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, like 670 yards or something, almost 700. So Kyler Murray definitely showed that he can still be that guy. And I wonder, in order to get one of the top couple quarterbacks, the Cardinals would have to move Kyler Murray and their number 4 draft pick, and maybe even that Texans draft pick that they have in order to go up and get one of those guys. What are the chances that that player actually turns out better than Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You look, especially the start of Kyler Murray's career, his first 3 seasons, he was incredible. So it's very difficult for me to see why the Cardinals should move on from him when instead you've got an opportunity to really take a step forward and improve this team, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. should be right there for you. Paris Johnson is going to continue to develop as a left tackle. You've got a few exciting players on defense. Like, I really think that this Cardinals team, if they play this offseason right with all their cap space and draft capital, could really build something around Kyler Murray next year.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. And what I wrote down was, if they had the number 1 pick in the draft, if they could get Caleb Williams, I would still go Caleb over Kyler. Like, I think Kyler's great, but I would still go Caleb over Kyler, especially you get that rookie contract. But from there, they're not even picking 2. You can't go and get Drake May. I'd probably still take Kyler over May. So it's not like they can easily get one of those top guys. The Bears would never. I'd be stunned if the Bears moved off that number 1 pick, as we'll talk about shortly. But yeah, Kyler Murray, you want a quarterback to turn out like Kyler. There are not a lot of guys in the league who have his superstar potential. I would 100%, given where they are, go get him a weapon. Get him a Malik Nabers. Get him it's great to have arguably the best wide receiver prospect in years in Marvin Harrison Jr., who should be there at 4. You expect him to be there at 4 right now. I think they're in a nice spot where he'll have a full offseason with new offensive coordinator, with the new head coach, get him adjusted. He doesn't have a torn ACL this time. And with a couple new weapons, it'll take some time to build it up. But, the Cardinals are in a nice spot.
Yeah, and I know Kyler Murray rushing-wise didn't look like his old self last year. But the thing is it takes about 18 months to fully recover from an ACL tear. People forget how invasive a surgery ACL repair is. They've got to go into your knee and replace joints. So I'm really
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm really excited to see a more agile, ready to run, ready to play Kyler Murray.
That's what a lot of people have forgotten this year too, is that he didn't just return from an ACL injury. he returned from an ACL injury in the middle of the season. Like it was week 12 or something when he came back, 11.
Yeah, he played 8 games, so that sounds right. Week 11 or week 10.
This was right around when everybody's head first into the regular season. Their bodies are getting adjusted to playing. Kyler's making his first action, and I thought he looked really good. There were a few games, particularly that Eagles game stood out to me, and I know the Eagles defense was bad this year.
He still had a better game than most quarterbacks you faced them.
Oh yeah, when he came in, they were 3-5, and they ended the year 4-13. So it's not like this Cardinals team's going to be world beaters next year, but the Kyler Murray effect was very prominent when you watch the Cardinals. They were a team you could no longer just overlook, and that's 100% because he entered the fold. And I'd be excited to see what you got next year. Now, if he stinks, if he reverts back to the form where everyone wanted to blow everything up, now we have a problem next offseason. But given the way things played out in 2023, I'd be really excited bringing in likely a new weapon on the outside and he's only 27 years old. I think he's going to be 27. Yeah. So this will be his age 27 season. He's still a young guy. Kyler Murray is a young quarterback. It's a good time still to be a Cardinal fan, which is crazy from where we were recently. So okay, so you're on board. Definitely roll forward with Kyler.
Yeah, and I'm really excited. I think Monty Ossenfort had one of the best off seasons as a general manager last year. Trading for that Texans pick, I don't think it ultimately turned into what they were hoping, but it's still a first-round draft pick. There will be a lot of talent and a lot of positions available for this team. I'm really excited to see where things go.
Seeing CJ Stroud take off the way that he did must have been tough for Cardinals fans because you were hoping that pick was also going to be top 5. Can you imagine if they have 4 and 5 in the draft or 3 and 4?
People were thinking they'd have 1 and 2 and take Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, or trade one of those picks and get another haul for a quarterback. That was the dream. Unfortunately for Cardinals fans, that didn't happen. But still, I think they're in a good spot, especially compared to where you expected them to be just a year ago.
It is nice when your number one offseason need matches up with a free agent market that's full of players who fit that need and arguably the best prospect positionless in the entire NFL draft. And you got a chance to get him.
I mean, and even if they don't get Harrison, Nabers, everything that comes out of Nabers is just glowing review after glowing. I saw someone say if Harrison wasn't in this draft, Nabers would be by far and away the number 1 receiver in basically any other class. Like it's a great time.
Is also no sleeper either.
Oh yeah, he's also great. They can do whatever they want, and if a quarterback falls, they could trade back. Believe it or not, we'll probably have a lot of Cardinals coverage over the next few months.